Alright, so the way I'm going to show you a couple different stamping techniques is by making a cute little pendant, and we're going to use this rubber stamp. It's just a random one from my collection. You can use any one that you like. You could also use a couple different rubber stamps if you would like, one for the background color and one for the inked color. So first I am going to condition a couple, maybe I'll do a half a block of souffle sea glass clay, because this I love this blue color. It's so pretty. Just take a second to do this. When you're doing surface techniques, one thing that you want to be sure to do is to make sure that the rollers on your pasta machine are very clean, because you don't want to get any little bits of the previous clay color that you're using. The way I usually clean the rollers is I will use these little alcohol swabs. Let me show you one. So they come in a box like this that you can get at any drugstore or the pharmacy section of any store. And you just rip them open, and there's a little piece of fabric in there, and it's got saturated with alcohol, and you can just use it to clean your rollers. So I usually do that every time I am starting a new clay project. So let me get this clay conditioned here. We're almost done. Usually when I'm working on any kind of a stamping technique, because you're going to be pushing down on it, I don't do it right on a work surface. I usually use a piece of this deli paper, or you could also use wax paper. And that way, if the clay sticks, you'll have something to peel it off of. It's easier than your firm work surface. So I'm just going to roll this a little bit with the roller to get those roller marks nice and smooth. And now, to keep my stamp from sticking too much, I'm going to use this cornstarch pouncer that I made. And I really love to use cornstarch as a resist, because it's dry and it's very smooth, and you don't have to wait for water to dry. You could spritz it with water, but I like this cornstarch. And the way you can make one of these is you get a little baby sock, and you put a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch in it and just close it with the rubber band. So now I can just pounce a little bit of cornstarch on here, smooth it with my finger, and press them with the rubber stamp. So I usually stand up when I press with the stamp. You want to make sure and press it nice and evenly. So just place it on there and just push down with my hands. And now you can see it peels right off very easily. So I've created this nice texture here. So now what I'm going to do is use the pendant finding. And by the way, this is the Sculpey key ring. I absolutely love this finding for pendants. Just take the key ring off, and this hole at the top is big enough to put just about any cord or necklace that you'd want to have in there, and it just makes a beautiful pendant. It's got enough surface area in it that you could do all kinds of fun things with clay. So this is one of my favorite Sculpey findings that I usually like to use. So I am going to just lay this down on the surface. Just press it in a little bit just to get that oval key ring shape pressed in there. And now I will use my needle tool. Oops. Now I'll use my needle tool from the 5-in-1 tool set to cut out that shape just by tracing around that imprint that I made. You don't have to worry about it being perfect. I'll show you how to make it perfect after we get it out of there. Alright, so now we're just going to clean that up a little bit. Get those little bit of edges off, and then so that it fits really well into the keyring finding, I'm going to kind of just trace around on an angle and peel away some of that clay. So what I'm trying to do is make the edge beveled inward a little bit, and that'll make it easier to pop it into that oval finding from the keyring. off a little bit there. You can see it does not have to be perfect. A couple of those crumbs off of there and smooth it out. You can see I'm touching it very gently because I don't want to change that texture that I put in there with the rubber stamp. So now I have the cutout ready to put in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few drops of Bacon Bond inside of here, and what this will do is it'll help it really adhere this clay into this finding. I kind of put some more into the corners there and just a few dots. You can see I'm not exactly artistic with that, and you don't have to be. So now I'm going to look at my cutout and make sure that I have it going correctly up and down, because since I have letters, I wouldn't want them to be upside down, so they look good. I'm going to curve this piece a little bit like this. And what this does is it makes it easier to pop it into the finding and get it to fit exactly right in there. So you put it in like that, and then you just tap it down a little bit and it goes right in there. There's a little bit of Bacon Bond that's squished up a little bit. I just wipe that off with my finger. And there you go, that's the first step.